back in, conversation on Mambo Siasa and exactly what's shaping out to, as the lead up to the elections. Yes. And we have Chege Majuice in studio with us, who's a political commentator. And we'll just be getting a feel of post June 25th, Mambo ya abductions. What are the Gen Zs saying? Accountability, which is, one of those words that we use so loosely, but man, our wish and desire is that we can have accountable leaders and accountable institutions. Karibu sana, Chege.
Thank you so much.
How's your morning going?
My morning is good. And we thank God for the far He has taken us. Even as a country, yes, at least we are still together.
That's the most important
People
thing.
say that it's better to have a dysfunctional country than having a country at all.
Hey.
So we thank God for that.
Wait. Sometimes I wonder if we're always looking at the bright side, sana. But just before we start the conversation, Felaris will share our quote of the day with you.
Okay.
You can say if it speaks to you, if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Amazing. Today's quote is courtesy of Mahmoud Mamdani, who is one of Africa's most important living political thinkers and theorists, Ugandan born, and is currently, I didn't know he was a professor at Columbia University.
Yes, he is. And he was a professor at Makerere for quite a long time, I think, as well as the University of Dar es Salaam. Scholar.
Quite the scholar. Today's quote reads, "The crisis is not that we disagree. The crisis begins when we stop listening." The crisis is not that we disagree. The crisis begins when we stop listening. How does that speak to you?
I agree with it. First, before I come to the quote, I want to thank everyone who is listening. My name is Chege Majuice. I'm the Executive Director, Party of National Unity. I've been a national youth leader for quite some time now. So when you are speaking about issues to do with the youth, I'm well conversant with them. I quite agree with the quote because there's an ancient adage that says that once a king walked naked because he had some mental issues, but the advisors around him, they told him, Your Highness, today's suit is quite awesome. It's very good. Okay? Because the advisors that were around him, they didn't want to tell him the truth because he knew the Highness was not listening to them. He wanted to hear things he wanted to hear, not the reality. So I quite agree with the quote because if the leaders have been listening to what the young people have been saying, at least we could not have been having this crisis that we have been having so far. Yes, there is a disconnect between the message is not getting to the recipient. So there is a disconnect of the message from the people who are talking to the people who should be receiving the message. They're not receiving, or if they're receiving the message, then the platform through which the message is being relayed it's not okay.
I'm happy that you're speaking about the listening aspect and maybe how we are going to. There's different ways of skinning a cat.
Yes.
So if you find this is not working, you try another. And we've seen the young people of this country again try and find different ways of speaking to the state, to the government. But even that is not working.
No, it's not.
Do we need to change? Because there's always opportunity in any sort of crisis.
Yes.
And the crisis we have at the moment is a listening crisis.
Yes.
How best do we get the voices of the young people listened to without having any kind of bloodshed, without having this kind of headlines of young people being abducted? Is there something we're missing?
Yeah, you see, the first genuine demonstration that we had, and we might not have it again, was June 2024. That was the genuine one because I was in the street. I advocated for it. 2025, I went somehow kidogo kwa street. Okay. Then I realized something is amiss. We were not doing the same kind of demonstration because we were going to anniversary to commemorate the youths who were killed in June 2024, only to realize another bunch of youths were also killed in 2025. The other day we had some youths going to the street and people in solidarity with the matatu operators. In the process, around 10 youths were killed. We went to the street to demonstrate and so that the culprit of people who abducted and killed Albert Ojwang can be brought to the book. In the process, another over 10 youths were killed. So what kind of a game are we doing? The cyclic. There's something that is not happening. And anytime we go to the street, the youths who are at the forefront, then they are called by the government on the table. And going to the next demonstration, they are not there. They are advocating against the youths going to the streets.
They become co-opted.
They become co-opted by the government. So you realize, even as the youths, we are the problem. Because some of the youths are not coming to this platform with a conviction. They're coming as content creators. I come here, I create a name. After I create a name, then I bargain with that name. I go to the government and tell them, you know what? I have this kind of following. The other Mandamano, I was in charge. So can we talk?
Yes. That's looking for opportunity.
They're looking for opportunity. And that's why...
They've learned it from the best.
And they have learned from the best.
Who does exactly that?
Yeah.
Think of historically, who does exactly that? You build a constituency, you rile people up, you're with them, and then you go to the government of the day and you say, Honor,
this is what
they're behind me. This is my following.
These are people behind me. You understand? So you realize until the day we will have a genuine conversation as the youth that our issues is we are jobless. It's not like Majuice, I'm jobless myself, because we are going this thing with the individualistic mentality that if I can go and convince these people I'm their leader, then in the meantime the government can look me in, then I'm okay. I can start selling the government agenda to the people. So that's what I'm saying. Even if we are going, if they call for Mandamano next weekend as a youth, I will not go. Because it's not genuine. It has been infiltrated by even the activists. We saw even the older politicians who are not there even during the 2024 Mandamano, going to the parliaments due to put some flowers and so on and so forth. With the blast of the first tear gas, they even left the mothers of the victims and they went to their cars with their security. Yeah.
It's so funny you should mention that. We were just with Eugene Wamalwa.
Yes.
And he said that he wanted to put the record straight on that what they did was they used their vehicles to break through the police barrier and then now get to parliament. That was, yes. So he said they didn't run away. They essentially cleared the way. Yeah. That was...
it was strategic on their part.
Yes.
So running, they were clearing the way so that the ones they left behind, they can come on foot or something.
They can pass.
Yes. Okay, I will not comment on that.
No. It's very fair. It's actually something I wanted to ask. I think we just, the conversation drifted because I was like, essentially, you did leave them. The mothers of Rex and
Kennedy.
Yes, you did leave them behind. And they did come back to parliament. That's true, and they laid the wreath. But the first sign of trouble. I hear what you say. What you're saying.
So that's why I'm saying that as the youth, we must be very honest, having an honest conversation. And I have been telling the youth that we are not going to move Ruto through protest. No. He did not come through a coup. He did not perform a coup so that he can be State House. People voted for him. So if the youth of this country want to remove William Samoei Ruto, it has registered Nico Kadi movement, and it's just next year, August. They go to the polling station and vote him out. Let him go home honorably, knowing that I was given 5 years by Kenyans. I have failed them, I have failed the youth, and they have spoken through the ballot, because we are in a democratic constitution. Whereby if you are going to remove a leader, there is a way that leader came in. He must go away the same way.
Okay. I think we had you here maybe a year, it feels like almost a year ago, on Fixing the Nation. And you said at the time President Ruto was doing a tour of Mount Kenya. Yes. And he's done many more since then.
Yes.
But at the time you said, you know what, it's pointless. Like that, the mountain is already gone.
I agree.
Essentially.
I agree.
Has that changed?
No.
It's been a year.
No. In fact, if I was to advise President William Samoei Ruto, because I'm sure he listens to the Fixing the Nation, he's one of the biggest platforms in the morning, I will tell him not to even vie 2027. Yes. I think Kenyans have reached a point that they have personalized issues with him now. It's not about the political slogans, one time and something. You talk to Kenyans out there and literally their lives have changed. since William Samoei Ruto came into power. I may not able to tell exactly maybe how, but if you talk even with contractors, they're telling you we used to do contracts. We no longer do them. But do you know what? Most of the politicians in Ruto's government, for you to support William Samoei Ruto, he's giving the contracts. The contracts that were used to be done by electricians, some small contractors, is given one politician. Then one politician is maybe finding some funny companies to do the job for them. So the contracts are not doing the job. The money is not trickling down to the economy. It's for the first time a person who is working is telling you, you know what, you have 5,000, and that person is working. Because the president issue of like he has to build things, like he's building a mall. Yesterday he was in Meru saying that, who said that president cannot sleep in Meru, that we are building a state house in Meru. Who told him that that is a priority of this country? Meru people want a hospital. Maybe they want a maternal hospital. They want a children's hospital. That's what they want. Again, President William Samoei Ruto should understand these issues of like building a state house, where it came from. You know, we had state house all over the country, like in Sagana, Mombasa, because at that time, Jomo was an old person, was an old man. We didn't have the modern kind of transport aeroplanes and choppers we have today. So whenever Jomo went to Mombasa or Sagana or Kakamega or Eldoret or Nakuru, he had to sleep there at night because he was an old person. He could not have endured the journey back to Nairobi through those means of those days. But nowadays, the president, you don't have to sleep in Meru. You don't have to sleep in Sagana. You can do your business, and in the evening around 4, you are back in State House and sleep in State House. Go to Sagana. I was talking with one of the presidential candidates in the alternative government called Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i. He was telling me, if Kenyans give me an opportunity to become the president, in the first 100 days, all those state houses will be health facilities.
Okay.
I will make sure the Sagana is a maternal hospital, Nakuru is a level 4 hospital, the Mombasa one is a hospital, because why do we need them? Why do we need State House to have like in 17 billion? From 4.5 billion, you increase your budget to 17 billion, while Kenyans on the streets, they can hardly afford a meal. I'm telling you, just talk to the people around in the streets, even those who are saying one term. The people who are saying 2 term, most of them, they are on payroll. Or they have somebody who is getting paid. But talk to the real people on the street. Their lives have changed. If it is the people who are working, you go to them, they used to have some pesa kidogo inabaki in their pay slip. That's the money they used to take their children out, maybe the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. That money is being taken by SHA. Is taken by these things, housing. You are, okay, you are deducting me the housing fund, and I'll never get that house. I took a mortgage that I'm paying through nail and tooth so that my family can have a shelter. But you are already deducting me some money to build houses for some people. You see, it's a good thing if you look at it. But at a personal level, a person feel like, why are you doing this to me? Are we together? So, and even this SHA, you realize it has a lot of issues that are not ending. Most of the institutions and even faith-based hospitals, you go to the faith-based hospitals and they used to take NHI very well. Nowadays they have issues with SHA because they are saying it is taking long before they are being reimbursed their money. So about issues of Mount Kenya, I can tell him, and this one he can take to the bank. That issue is much gone. And it's not even because of Gachagua. No. I usually tell people that, and I'm not tribal, because you have asked me that question.
No. It's a fair
asked
question.
me a Mulima question.
Yes.
I usually tell people that among the communities, first people to know that the economy is amiss are people from Mount Kenya region. Because it is their business. They are business community people. They sell the njugu in the streets, mask and everything. So when the economy is not doing well, in the first 1 or 2 months, they're able to understand something is wrong with this economy. The second people are the people from the region. Yes, they usually take 3 to 6 months to understand there's something wrong with the economy. Why? Because most of them are engineers. They are doctors. Are we together? They are mechanics. Are we together? And most of them, they have facilities. They are waiting for the business community to pay them. And then they raise after 6 months, money is not coming. So even these people from the region, the day was done a poll by Mizani, and they were saying that most of the person they trust with their future tomorrow to give them direction is Orengo. Why are they giving Orengo? They are saying 2 term, yes, but they're saying they can confide in Orengo to show them the direction because Orengo is speaking their language. There is something wrong with our economy. Either it is how president is governing or the mantra he came into power with of the hustlers, he's disconnected with the people. Because people thought maybe you are coming as a hustler, you will be living like a hustler. But when people read the newspaper like that one, and you hear the president has added his miscellaneous or budget, pesa kutumia tu huko kupea watu from 4 to 17 billion, you kind of wonder, what kind of president is this?
The bottom-up agenda is not working. I have two questions. Every time I meet either someone who, a young person or just a political commentator like yourself, I usually wonder if there's anything that you see positive out of this administration that maybe, of course, it's overshadowed by all of these things, right? If there's anything that you see positive coming from this administration, be it in terms of policy, be it in terms of an institution that is working, that would be first. And then the second one, I'll come to the economic question because it's layered.
Yes. I think I can say a positive thing, but I can accredit it to God, not to president. Because for the last four years, God has been gracious to Kenyans. We have been having plenty of rainfall. Maybe God knew that if he didn't give us enough food, then we could not be there. So let me accredit to God that if you look at our environment, climate, it has really favored us.
But we still have parts of this country that are experiencing drought.
But in most places, we are experiencing plenty of rainfall. Unlike the previous regime of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And I had First Lady, Her Excellency Rachel Ruto, saying that ni maombi, that it took her to pray for the rains. And Kenyans were asking her, then pray for your husband also. You can't be praying for the rains.
Very valid. So that is just natural occurring. The rain came and we have food.
Like,
cannot credit it to the administration. And second to that is the economic question.
Yes.
So reality qua ground is exactly what you've said, that Kenyans are straining, there's cash not moving around, and even for people that are working, they're still finding themselves not having enough to spend because cost of living has gone up. But I want us to go back to 2020. The entire world went through COVID-19, which essentially meant a lot of things changed. And countries have been trying to adjust post-COVID to a new reality because we can't go back to what we were pre-COVID. It's to a new reality. Some faster than others based on the status of the economy, some slower than others. In Africa, unfortunately, we've drawn the short end of the stick. Our recovery has been a little bit slower compared to the much bigger economies. So this is not me extending grace to the government, but also recognizing that there's so many factors that have played out even by the time this administration was coming in and trying to adjust to the realities of what the world has been post-COVID. Introduce the war that also brings in economic shocks across the world that the government of the day unfortunately finds itself in a very tough place. A tough place of trying to deal with the realities of what the entire world is dealing with and then, of course, governing and running the country. So do we expect the next administration to come in and to wave a magic wand and for us to go back to what the administration of President Kibaki was? Because then that's when we keep referring to that time. Fortunately, I was not a taxpayer at the time, but I remember just how the country was. Is it that we are maybe dreaming that come the election next year, we vote in a different administration, we have another sitting president, he will come in and things are going to be magically 100% different? Or are we ready to accept that this could go on even with the next administration?
I agree with you on both sides. But let me start where you have started in 2020. It's true we had a crisis. And that time, I can tell you that the revolution you're seeing now was to start during the end of President Kenyatta's regime. That's when it was start. These are all evolution you're starting and resistance was to start that time. But we had a person who was not honest enough, and that is the current president. Instead, he understood that time that people are feeling the economy is becoming tough on them. But he went out and told people that now it's because of dynasties. He took advantage of the situation And he even prevented a rebellion against President Uhuru. Because the rebellion against Uhuru was Uhuru Aende, but people did not go to the street. But if the current president did not go and tell people, no, I think what we have here is because of dynasties. You who are hustlers. Maybe Kenyans would be saying that even during Uhuru, we had Mandamano. I've seen readers mostly who are saying to them or allied to the president, asking, why didn't we have all these issues during Uhuru's time? Right. They should leave the science. During the end of era of Uhuru period, we had rebellion in the country.
We did.
Including in Mount Kenya, including in his home area, Katondo. People didn't want to see President Uhuru Kenyatta because of the same thing. It was not because of Raida. I was in Azimio. I was a youth leader in Azimio. It was because of economy. People could exactly tell you the economy is not working. Something is not okay. And it was because of COVID. But here we had a deputy president then who knew the reality, who knew the situation, but took advantage of it. Instead of telling Kenyans, by the way, we have come from COVID, I think these things are not working. He went ahead even to say there's no COVID. He went ahead to say munafungiwa kwa nyumba so that these people can have ways to rig elections and so on and so forth. So he divided Kenyans along the dynasties and the hustler. And his boss was there and he was telling people, this guy is lying to you. Things are not okay. Then he took over the power. When he took over the power, we don't have that aggressive politician. Gachagua came, yes, but we don't have that aggressive politicians with lies to tell Kenyans that it is not Ruto who is doing these things, it's something else. Are we together? So all these issues Kenyans are putting on the back of William Samoei Ruto. Are we together? Including those COVID things, because you told us this. You told us Uhuru ndiye alikuwa shida. You told us shida ilikuwa dynasty. So stop changing the narrative and telling us hapa it is not the issue. The issue is you. You have to do what you told us to do.
Okay. You have to hold that. So I'm so sorry to just interrupt.
Okay.
Hold that thought. We'll come back and we can finish it.
Okay.
And we'll also talk about what is a possible danger, which is a silent majority when people are saying, you know, the country is leaning this way. Could it be that we're not listening to some other people who are thinking differently? Okay. We'll talk about that when we come back. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation NTV, and we're fixing with Chege Majuice.
Yeah.
We're back in conversation with Chege Majuice, and we're discussing Matters Governance, Matters 2027. And just before we get back into the conversation, some of your feedback that we can see on YouTube. Steve Okech says he's loving the show. I could listen to this the whole day. Facts after facts. Asante sana. And Samson Abok is saying something that was actually going to be my next question. Samson Abok says, Majuice, two-term, and I'm not paid. For me, Ruto is doing what many presidents refuse to do. And that was what I was hinting towards earlier, which is that there could be a silent majority, and then people are under this illusion that everyone is on the same bandwagon as them, ya kusema one term. But we'll talk about that in just a minute with Chege. Charles Ndungu says, for the ordinary citizen, these are the things we look for. Health, food, education, clothing, housing, just the basics, which we are scrounging for now. The rest are luxuries, meaning the government has failed us. Njenga Njogu says, Majuice should understand that a lot of people rely on Fagia Wote. For me, my vote question will be about ODS debt, and most in the United Opposition to me are more of gatekeepers to the matter. So we'll talk about that, this idea of Fagia Wote as well. And Staki Mapepe says the undoing of the current regime is one, leading through lies, massive public looting, the disconnect between the regime and the youth of the country. Charles Ndungu says that also we don't need anyone to tell us what we can see for ourselves, what we can hear, and eventually we can say something about it. I no longer get agitated by two-termers because it's wasted energy. And he says, look at that Serbian protest. No police or goons infiltrating the demos. Very peaceful. And that was what we saw in 2024. That's how it began. That's really how it began.
It's you know, we just see where there is when politicians see an opportunity, they will never cease to take advantage of it. And that is what has happened with subsequent protests and demos. But back to, you know, the how people make decisions on what criteria it is based on basic needs. And just this coming in and, you know, people saying that government has failed. But on to Mariam's question on the majority and the silent majority and the loud minority. Is that a case of what we're seeing right now, especially because the internet amplifies the voices of people, and granted from across the country, Kenyans are engaging online. But is this electorate the majority? Or is it the minority, but only that their voices are very amplified?
Right.
I think those who are talking about majority supporting William Samoei Ruto, I think those are boardroom politics. Those are the people I was telling you, the king is naked, but they can't tell you because he's paying them. You see, I was watching a clip of Sirisia MP in a funeral somewhere. Was it a funeral somewhere? And women were telling him, upende usipende, it's one term. And it reached a point he was even threatening them that one time Yamamako, I can take you, something like that. I also saw that clip of yesterday of Speaker of the National Assembly, Wetangula, in Western Kenya. And people are telling him outright on the streets, it's one term. You see, the issue of one term, I've told you, it's not a political slogan. I've told you, people are really interacting with their own lives and they are realizing that something amiss. If you have realized over the last 2 years, we have issues of mental illness. You need to call a doctor here and ask him how this thing is spreading. You have out of maybe 10 of your friends, you realize one is going off mentally. Pole pole too. He start writing to you things and you are like, what is going on? Because some people are doing very well. They have done whatever it takes. They wanajituma, anaenda hustle. Illegally alikuwa mebaya kidhani anaweza lipa, imechotwa. Go to the auction rooms right now. And you see the kind of cars that are being auctioned. It's KDA, KDB, KD what, KD, and most of them are personal cars. I have a friend of mine who was telling me, we had a friend who had an issue of maybe he was a manager somewhere in a bank, and he did what he did about the money. He was in fraud in a bank, and we were discussing somewhere with my friends who work in a bank, and he told me that, you know why some of the managers in banks are engaging in frauds? Because they have been brought all kind of business plans by people. Like he look at this business plan and thinks, I have to give this guy a loan because I think he's a genius. This business plan will work. Right. Only after 2 or 3 years, they are going to auction that guy's properties because the business plans are not working. And it's because the structures of our economy are not working. We used to have incentives for the business people and something like that. They are not coming. Yeah. Nowadays, we need to change how we are doing things. Nowadays, you can't say, me, I'm just an importer. I'm taking things from Turkey and coming and sending here. Everybody can do that for themselves. A guy has told you here, what they want are the basics. Can you do the basics for them? The education, health, food, shelter. They will be able to do the rest for themselves. So the issue of William Samoei, that person has said it's because of lies. William Samoei has become such a person that you cannot rely on. Dependability on head of state cannot be done. Because yesterday I saw even people asking, like, did the head of state repeat that he is going to build a Nili Bridge? Yesterday, he was telling people in Meru, you know what? He's coming like it's a new promise. He even forgot that he has said it over 10 times. And he's in Meru saying, nimekuja na pesa 7 billion. He need the bridge. The
contractor is on site.
No, I have been,
contractor is on site.
My party leader come from that region, called Peter Munya. I usually use that road most of the time. The other day, tumekuwa na Dr. Fred Matiang'i Meru. I use that road. There's nothing that is happening. You can ask a person to take for you photos from there.
Actually, if there's any fixers who in Meru, it would be good to see a video of
there's nothing
as it stands right now.
There's not even nobody there.
Because the president did say contractor ako site, which again comes down to, we hear the president anaenda anatangaza hii ifanywe. Where does the responsibility of executing the project come from? If at all there is funds and a declaration has been made, who do we need to be looking at? Is it the county in itself in terms of making sure that the work has been done? Ama tunaenda pale State House tunagonga mlango tunasema president hii ijajengwa?
No, you can't say like that because assume you are the head of your family, you are the mother. And then utuacha kama umesema who and who mwoshe vyombo. Then you come in the evening, vyombo as Joshua, and then you are there saying, me, I don't know what happened. You are the mother, I don't know what happened. Mosheni vyombo. Tena you come tomorrow, vyombo as Joshua, and you are like, I don't know exactly who should follow up on kuosha vyombo. I'm the mother. I said it, but I don't know in this house who should follow up. Is it vyombo as Joshua? So you have failed because you are the mother who should follow up. Nilikuambia wewe uoshe vyombo. Why have you not washed the utensils?
Majuice, when we're doing hypotheticals, we have to make them realistic.
Yeah.
There's no household Mama tarudi na vyombo Joshua leo na kesho bado
exactly.
It won't happen twice.
Again,
Yeah.
the president has seen himself being mocked by Kenyans. This is the 7th time, 8th time you are talking about the Nithi Bridge. Why don't you even go and stand there in the Nithi Bridge? I used to like the leadership of a guy called Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And even election were held 2027. I'll close my eyes, vote him. I don't care what will happen. Because he was not like the person like I have said exam cheating is watching. He used to be there in person to see exam inafunguliwaje.
Sure.
The issue of passport, he went there. There's a friend of mine who called from US and told me, do you know what? I came to Kenya because I have to renew my passport whenever I come to Kenya. And during that time, I was told I can renew my passport after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But a guy came in, called Fred and said, I swear before God, all of you, by tomorrow you'll have your passport. And it happened. You should lead from front. You should go there and see how things are done. But to say me like I said it, somebody is following up on it. And you are saying for the same, you see, if you say the first time, the second time we can excuse you. But you can't say the 7th time, the same issue, when you go to Meru, that is the song of Nithi Bridge. And people are dying there. You are seeing in the news, watu wengine wamekufa Nithi Bridge, unasema that is another promise next time. All we are in our own world. President is maybe a contract social marizata.
You know, there's something we risk maybe being very, very focused on. Oh, you know, this is removing President Ruto from power, and it's one term, and it's tunnel vision, and we may end up with people who are either the same or not very, very different. Okay. And I'm saying that because you've alluded, for example, to Dr. Matiang'i, and this is not like an attack, but there was very serious questions about the following of the rule of law during his term, when he was as a cabinet secretary and when he was in government. So I'm wondering what the people are actually looking for, because if you tell me you're going to replace someone who doesn't follow the rule of law with someone who also had issues with following the rule of law, then we end up in the same place, more or less.
I want you to go and check the guy, because I usually check those documentaries of a guy who transformed Singapore to what it is today. You look at Lee Kuan Yew. If the guy Lee Kuan Yew talks today in Kenya, nobody will vote that guy because he is extremely tough. I was watching a clip where he was telling the airliners that, let me tell you, I'm giving you this offer. I don't care what you're going to do, but I'm giving you 1 hour to think about this, or all of you will be fired, and I'm ready to start all over again. I'm telling you that because you asked a very good question, that maybe we might remove Ruto and have the same, the continuance of this regime, hardship and everything. Yes, that's very true. We need a man who can make extremely, that is the word, tough decision for this country. Otherwise, I'm telling you before God, this country will go to ashes.
Isn't what President, and I like that you've come down to tough decisions and tough choices. Do you think President Ruto is making those tough choices, especially around, and I want us to be very objective on this, around things that are unpopular, but to anyone that either serves within those institutions is able to look at it and say, for example, how we are privatizing some of our parastatals, saying that we need to privatize so that we can tap into enough resources so that we can fund our own infrastructure projects as opposed to borrowing. That is strategic. And if we are being objective about it, it is a revenue-raising measure that goes against what we are traditionally used to. Do you think then what kind of difficult decisions are we expecting the next president to come and make that the current one is not already making, that are very unpopular?
Let me not even go to those complex things that Kenyans will understand. A person who is making tough decisions for the economy, he's increasing State House budget from 4.5 billion to 17 billion so that he can give out handout. Is that what you call tough decision? Or did I get your question right? Because let me tell you. The other day we had people who had scandals in Kenya Pipeline Company. The managing director, so and so and so. Who was the managing director? The guy called Sang. Sang was fired by previous regime, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, because of engaging in massive corruption. President Ruto came in. He took him back to Kenya Pipeline so that he can continue to plunder this nation. Is that a tough decision? Is that what we're talking about, tough decision? Number two, these people were caught with those fraud things and everything. Okay, it was reported that some money, around 500 million, from their house, from their homes. Then a certain senior person said that money should be brought to him. Is that what you call tough decision? Let me tell you. President Ruto, the kind of a person he is, he will never change. And if people think Ruto will change, we are going down, all of us as a nation. The reason I'm saying that, because even this privatization, I can tell you, 95% of Kenyans, they know before God that they have hand in it. Some of them, they are buying these parastatus. These people are buying these parastatus. Why did we go to the, why did we had over 60 kids, over 100 killed in the streets in June 2024? We had a president who was becoming aristocrat, like Mobutu Sese Seko. He had no even shame, saying that the chopper I was riding on was the most expensive. He hired for over 200 million. Somebody had paid for him. He had a friend from those Asian countries who had paid for him. Is that what you're calling tough choice? Let me tell you. Was it not even for the June 2024 that happened? Today, this guy could have become a dictator and he could be doing what he wants with your money.
But Majuice, you've not answered my question.
Yes.
And I want to go back to my question.
Yes.
Everything you said is true. Corruption exists. People are stealing
No, him,
money.
not people.
Hear me out.
Him.
Hear me out.
Yes.
It is him and the people that sit within those institutions, because we have seen time and again, whether it's a governor that is not running their county properly and there's wastage of money. There's KPC, like what you mentioned, Josang and the rest, because of the illegal importation of fuel outside the G2G program. All of those things exist. I want to go back to my question. You said we need a leader who will be able to make difficult decisions for the country.
Yes. Not for his stomach.
President Ruto, popular, very unpopular decisions have been made in terms of how the country can generate its own money without borrowing. Those are very unpopular but tough decisions. Is theft happening? Yes. And I don't want us to focus so much on the theft. I want to focus on your point of making difficult decisions. The next president that we get, be it Fred Matiang'i, be it Riggy G, will come in and also make difficult decisions that are very unpopular. Will we go back to chanting one term? Because he's making those difficult decisions, and those difficult decisions are unpopular with the people. Because here's the thing, just like Mariam said, we risk replacing one with an even worse person who's going to come in and make decisions that are not very popular and not what the people want. But unfortunately, that's the job that they've been given.
I have asked you a question. Those tough decisions we are talking about, I have given you the decision he has made himself.
No problem.
And I have asked you, is that a tough decision?
Majuice, answer my question on the person who's coming in. What tough decisions do you want them to make? Because you're focusing so much on the stealing.
Number one.
I want to hear the person that is going to come in. What tough decisions do you expect them to make with how things are right now?
Number one, a leader is seen by how, number one, they appoint their cabinet. A person who is making very tough decisions. You saw his first cabinet. We had people like Aisha Jumwa. We had people like Medheka Rinturi. People who could even dare to mix sand with Punda, Mafia Punda uko, and call it fertilizer. And that guy, when he was fired, he said, the person who was telling me to do these things.
And those are allegations.
Those are allegations. I'm telling you the kind of a person. Let me tell you, if today this studio is to become a world-class studio, we will judge you as a manager or head of the production of this house by the kind of people you will appoint to make it a world-class studio. But if you want to be a world-class studio, and I came to this studio and like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? And we are just discussing here, and somebody is having makeup party and a pika ugari, tisha ugari pale. You know, I can be able to tell from the word go, you are not serious of what you want. We had a president who had fired almost his entire cabinet. Himself, the president, was on record. That is the person we are saying is making tough decisions. He was on record saying that most of my cabinet, I know more
than most of them.
So he,
about their dockets.
Yes, he recruited the most cruelest people That is a tough decision according to you. Recruited tough decision. Let me finish.
And
I know what I'm saying.
Majuice, I want you to stick to the question, which is...
I'm sticking. I'm giving example.
2027.
Forward-looking.
I'm
Yes.
forward-looking. I don't want us... You see the Gen Z, and I'll tell you where the trap is and where the problem is, and I want us to come from that problem.
Yes.
We keep regurgitating the things that are happening instead of saying, what is the Kenya that we want?
Yes.
And I want you to speak to the Kenya and the president that you are going to vote for, and what you expect that president to do and his tough decisions based on what we have right now. Speak to me about 2027.
Right.
Thank you so
just
much.
Yes. Because she's put it very well. There's a question here from Ian Kipruto. 1 term, 2 term, then what? Right? Question mark.
Yes.
And I'd even written it down. What is the people's agenda? And then what?
Let me tell you. And you have said very well. Let us not even speak what he did. Because again, we are through with that he had no idea of what he was doing. Including himself said that cabinet secretary have no idea. The president who is coming next, number one, he must get it right from the people he appoints in the cabinet. Kenya is not short of qualified people. The reason a person goes and appoint people who are not qualified so that they can think you have done them a favor, and in the process you have to. Do you know the reason why a person will tell you, you come to this studio and your head of production will tell you, my dear, you should know that I know more than you. It's not true. They don't know more than you. The reason they are telling you that is to tell you that whatever you are going to do, first, you have to consult me. Because I know this ministry more than you. So don't think you can I have put here so that you can do your own things or you can use your own brains. I want you to use mine. So the president who is coming next, let him have very sober Kenyans, qualified for the job from the word go.
Okay.
Are we together? Number two, about the issue of corruption. The corruption is not the billions we are talking about because it starts small. Like a person is getting millions of money and stuff like that. Corruption starts in the morning when a government officer goes anawekelea koti hapo, anaenda kufanya kazi yake, unakuja kuchukua birth certificate, unaambiwa kuja kesho. Haifiki. Ukienda kuangalia the birth certificate unaambiwa ilikosekana, unaweza kuwa na 1000, we call Nairobi ikuwe processed ikuja hapa. I'm a political commentator in social platforms. And the other day, going through my platform, I found a video of Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i uploaded by the Narok Senator, Ledama Orekina, 7 years ago, saying that this is the kind of leaders I want. Right now he's saying he's a two-term guy, Ledama Orekina. But 7 years ago, he said this is what I want. Why? He said they have been trying in Narok, those people coming from interior, to get birth certificates for their children. And the leaders have been making noise. And in that video, you'll even see the current governor, or I think Tutu there. But it took a person, one individual, to go there and dismiss the entire department with his word that all of you, you are making very hard life hard for Kenyans. All of you go home, so that the birth certificate for the simple mothers they can be processed. And from that time, he said that things changed. We want that leader that his word, he can go to the ground where people are suffering. People usually tell us, oh, president has a lot of issues, he's doing a lot of issues. Our president is all over the world, global trotting. Are we together? We want a leader like Magufuli, a person who will go to Kenyatta National Hospital and impromptu. If you have all the time to go and address rallies, Juyagari in Meru, telling them about Nithi Bridge for the 7th time. Huwezi kosa 1 hour ya kwenda Kenyatta National Hospital, useme nipelekeni ward ya the normal people. I want to see the kind of life they are living. I want to see the kind of beds. Nataka kujua madaktari wenye wako on duty leo. At least nijue, are we doing something for the country? About mambo na economy, let me tell you, this country, we are not badly off. We are not badly off. The other day I saw, I think these media, another media, saying that we are losing over 600 billion. Over 600 billion through corruption. And where corruption starts, does not start from those governors you are telling me about. No, corruption starts from the head of state. If today we have a head of state who is saying, you know what, kila mtu, either you are 1 term, 2 term, kila mtu awe mzigo wake. I'm telling you, your corruption itaanza kuisha. But you have a president whereby, because wewe ni 2 term, we mambo na corruption, me I know so many governors right now. And even previous governors, I can even mention to you, ukikimbishwa tu na EACC kidogo, the only thing you can say is two-term. Alafu mambo na ACC unaanza kukimbizwa. But the rest, are we together? But the rest, the EACC on your neck. But if the head of state today aseme, mimi mambo na corruption, ukishikwa beba msalaba yako peke yako. Hii issue ya corruption itakuwa imeisha. Yes.
Sorry, you want to sample some feedback? Because I have a question for Majuice.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is, we have a lot of discourse around the president, forgetting the structure of government is not just the president. There's something called devolution, and unfortunately, but the discourse might be too focused on one thing while missing out on so many other critical elements and parts. We have county governments where there's a lot that happens there, and we should be holding county governments responsible for a lot of things under the leadership of governors. We have senators, we have members of parliament, and we have members of county assembly. Now, right now as it is parliament, does it work for the executive or does it work for the people? Are we holding those members of parliament accountable just like we are holding our president accountable?
Right.
Because therein is a very big gap. And maybe where we need to be putting and pressing more is on parliament. When it comes to governors, are we looking at how much is being spent on running counties? How much waste is there? Because yes, the executive and national government will make the headlines. But when it comes to county governments, do we know how much is going to waste within the counties? Big question there. Coming down to members of county assembly, who again are responsible for running their their wards. But is that happening? I feel like, again, we need to break down this conversation and really start looking at piece by piece the running of the different jurisdictions. Otherwise, we risk getting it wrong once again.
When you started the show, you said that the president who will come, is he going to take us back to the Kibaki time? And during the Kibaki time, we had the same members of parliament you are alluding, and they were still doing their work. You see, let me tell you why the head of state sets the agenda. Is the cardinal point of a country. During the Kibaki time, we had the same MPs. They have not changed. The same Kenyans. They had not been imported. They were the same people. But why was the country working then? Because the head of state made a decision that some things must work in this country. I'm saying that because we have three arms of government. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. And all of them, they have part to play in this. Let's go to the legislature, which you have asked, do the members of parliament have a say in the kind of governance, because we are only looking for the president. If today the president tells the members of parliament, I want you, if a bill is not okay, and I'm the one who have brought it maybe through the majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, I want you to put it down, or maybe to vote against it. Are we together? But you have the kind of president coming to Kenyans, verbatim quoting him, saying that napeana over 10 million to members of parliament who are inawafikia, so that you can vote in a certain way. Very corrupt. A head of state going to public to tell them that I usually give parliament 10 billion wa vote a bill na anauliza iliwafikia.
Is it allegedly?
No, allegedly. He said it during when he had the ODM and UDA meeting, and he was asking because that time he
but
was
he didn't say
on
napeana.
No, he said I gave.
I gave.
Yes.
We'll check. We'll have to check, because if I'm not wrong, he said inapeanwa over 10 million or something of the sort.
I want you to go and check.
So that we're factual.
He didn't say inapeanwa. He was very categorically. And he even asked them that, did you receive the 10 million? He asked them.
We'll look for that.
It was you remember, it was ODM and UDA had a parliamentary.
I remember the 10 million and I remember the statement. What I don't remember is saying ni yeye anapeana. But we'll look it up. So
he didn't say inapeano. You just look at it.
Yes.
Then that's what I was saying. I have lost my line of thought. But let me continue. Let me continue. The head of state, I was saying that the head of state sets the agenda for the country. Yes. That's why I told you, during Kibaki time, we still had the same members of parliament, but at least everybody can say something at least was working. If we have the head of state today, and he's telling the EACC or whoever is working that if there's a governor who has been caught of misappropriating funds. It doesn't matter if you are my friend. Kila mtu abebe msalaba wake. You can't tell me that God created all these other countries, people who are sane, like akatengeneza wa Kenya wakiwa so immoral and so bad people that there is no hope for this country. No, there is hope, but we have made it like hata watu wengine wanasema hata mkitua Ruto, so what? It's like everybody else is like William Samoei Ruto. Of everybody else has no leadership. Ama Kibaki was the last person that leadership we experienced in this country. No. We have people who can do things in this country, and that's what I'm saying. Let the legislature do their job. If a bill is not helping Kenyans, let them Kenyans go and let them Kenyans do their representative MPs go and vote it out. Let the president mendel that lazima munipitishie hii bill. Let him have the goodwill, and the head of state, even the judiciary, wachana judiciary wafanye kazi yao. It was so shameful. And this one again, I'm quoting verbatim. The Supreme Court judge Lenaola said that during the impeachment of the former deputy president, he was so disappointed, or there was something amiss, that the entire network of the judiciary ya kufaili makaratasi na kila kitu ilienda chini. Are you together? And he was alleging that there's something wrong even with the judiciary, that we can have such kind of a network outage inapotea tu mara moja if nobody is infiltrating these things. Unaona tunasemaga like a head of state akianza leo president, what president says Kenyans take it very serious. Akipanda miti leo, all other institutions zenye they are related with mambo na environment, utaona kesho even corporates they will start doing the corporate social responsibility ya kupanda miti because of the head of state have done that. If the head of state today aseme a certain person kama umeshikwa na corruption, even if you are my friend, enda ndani. We saw many people who had corruption cases. Friends to William Samoei Ruto, when he came in, hiyo kesi zote zilisha. Even wengine mtu alikuwa ameshikwa, what is KEMSA alikuwa amefungwa, si alipewa the presidential pardon. So we must have a president who is very serious, so that Kenyans can follow.
I'll challenge that, but and because it's important again to be very factual. He did ask them, did you get the money, but did not say that nilipeana.
How did he know somebody gave 10 million?
So you see, that's conjecture, right? But he did allege that yes, MPs received 10 million for was it actually, it was the Senate or MPs that were receiving 10 million shillings, but we can't say that. He said alipeana if he didn't say that. It's okay. You can infer. However,
impliedly,
you can, let's not say that he said that when he did not actually say that.
Okay, that's
but
okay.
The question on what comes first, the chicken or the egg, the president sets the tone for government.
Yes.
That's absolutely true. But to also say that it would be possible if you have a good president to then have a parliament that toes the line, I think is also not very likely.
It's not very likely.
Because you can see what is happening right now, which is a situation where essentially you have a parliament that is captured and falls to the
who has captured it?
It's the president.
Thank you.
And the executive. That's fair. But to say that suddenly, if these people were working for the people, then it wouldn't matter who is in power today, because whatever bill that is draconian or problematic would never pass. Whatever move is made would be countered by Parliament. Parliament would be doing its job of checks and balances. But if you're telling me you have a president who has a great agenda, who wants to work for the people, but can't pass any bill through Parliament because Parliament is moving on its own, it's also a falsehood.
You see, the reason why you see the president who goes in, he goes with these people who are towing the line, even the parliamentarians. Don't be lied. If today Chege Majuice is running to be the president, I have MPs who are supporting me because of my agenda, because they know how I operate things. Most of the parliamentarians who supported Ruto, they knew the kind of a person they were supporting. So they knew there's no way he'll come into the seat of presidency and change and become that straight person. Now I don't want these things. I don't want tenders. I don't want anything. Most of them, they campaigned for him. In their mind, there's some reward, or they wanted some return on their investment on campaigning for him. So if today you are campaigning for a governor of Nairobi County, you know the kind of a governor you are campaigning for. You know this guy with integrity. He's very integrity. He doesn't take nonsense. He doesn't entertain corruption. And in the process, if there are people who are supporting you and they usually entertain corruption, they will stop supporting you. They'll go to another candidate who usually support corruption because they cannot align with your principles. So don't be lied that he just found himself in parliament with the members of parliament who are just corrupt. They are just asking 10,000 for him. If you have a friend, you know the kind of a friend you will go and tell him, you know what, today is Friday, let's go somewhere. And there's a kind of a friend you will tell, you know what, it's on Wednesday, we have a seminar, an educational seminar that is happening, can we go? And that guy, that friend of yours you are telling you have an educational seminar, you can't text him on Friday night, okay, because he will be like, don't you know the kind of a person I am? So don't be lied that he just found himself in parliament with surrounded by MPs who are asking for money to pass a bill. They know the kind of a person he is. They know that we have a president and that's how he operates.
Yes.
We tell him that is pesa. But if today we have a candidate and these members of parliament are supporting candidate who are attacking a president, we know the kind of a person. Haruta pesa, we'll have to use our mind and pass a bill. That's what will happen. Yes.
I have, again, a lot of questions just around the fix that needs to be applied. What does it take for, we are 13 months to the election, let's call it a year. What does it take for the young voter right now to change from the politics of you have done, and focus more on the politics of this is what I am demanding for?
Good.
Because unfortunately, it's the thing that politicians take advantage of when they come and preach either, tunataka ku protect payslip. It is always the sloganeering that comes from speaking to the problems, but now we need to flip that and start asking what's the fix, and really start asking for the fix from these leaders. What does it take?
The good thing, people who vote in Kenya are of age. I don't know about the mental issues, but they are of age, 18 years and above. They have never been tested. You have to be mental stable or something like that. But one thing that Kenyans should put aside to fix this country, number one, tribalism and ethnicity. As a country will not go anywhere. If people are coming on the table and a person is telling you know what, I'm coming with 80 million. Another one, I'm coming with 2 million. Another one, I'm coming with 1 million. Another one, I'm coming with nothing. I'm telling you this country will never be fixed. Because we'll be voting a criminal because he is coming on the table with 7 million or 5 million because of the numbers. If Kenyans are really serious that we can change this country, then number one, tribalism or ethnicity must be put aside. So that we can see clearly what is the issue. I'm telling you, this country, we have so many people. We have somewhere maybe a Mijikenda. We have somewhere maybe a Somali. We have somewhere maybe a Turkana who can be able to tell Kenyans this is the problem. We can fix this. But he has no chance because he's coming on the table and being told, how many you're coming with numbers of what? The numbers we are talking about, what are Wonjo hospitali, and what are the young people who are going to jails because of there is no job. Mtu alikosa pesa, he wanted to have an iPhone, akasnatch ya mtu. Are we together? And we have never seen these leaders maybe in hospital going and saying, today I want Kenyatta National Hospital to tell me my numbers. I'm coming with the numbers, to know the numbers of people from my community who are admitted in Kenyatta National Hospital, maybe so that we can fundraise them. I have never seen them maybe in committee saying, I want to see the numbers of people from my community who have been sentenced to life because maybe they did things out of maybe survival tactics. Are we together? They usually come with the numbers when it's about election. So that is number one thing. Number two thing, we must be, as a young people, we must be very honest with ourselves.
Wait, before I actually go to the honesty bit, just on the ethnic groupings.
Yes.
So right now we're seeing a kind of return to that ethnic politics. And when people are talking about their strategies are, I have community A because I come from community A. Yeah. So now I need to recruit community B, C, D, and move forward.
And all the cousins.
And all the cousins. We're at least the political class is moving as such. But if we're being honest, in large part, there's still a lot of the country that moves like that, that's my person. Yeah, I've seen Chege. Chege is my person. He gets my vote. Not so much, Chege alifanya nini last year? What was his track record? No.
And let me tell you, and I can tell the leaders, even Eugene, if he was here, and even the Shaguas, the Matiangis, and everybody. We go the tribal way 2027. We will not remove Ruto. Yes. Ruto was the first politician to know that hii ujinga tribe imeanza kuisha nguvu. In 2021, Ruto sold a narrative. We might hate him, yes. And we might say he lied. Yes, it's true. But he sold a narrative to the people. He sold hustlers versus dynasty. It was an ideology. An ideology that made stronghold of Raila Amolo Odinga, like in Mombasa, to vote for Ruto over 40%, where Uhuru could not even get over 20%. An ideology that made Western Kenya a stronghold for Raila to vote some counties like Bungoma overwhelmingly for William Samoei Ruto. An ideology that the Azimio were not able to fight in the entire Mount Kenya because they were saying, oh, Raila, Ruto and Mkalenjin, blah, blah. But he came with an ideology of hustle. People associated William Samoei Ruto with hustler. And they associated the rest with dynasties. Our team, Azimio then, we were busy taking off tribal chiefs. In Mombasa, we had everybody. All the tribal chiefs were there. We had Kina Joho, we had everybody. In Mount Kenya, we had all the tribal chiefs, including our president, former president, Muigai Kenyatta. Are we together? Yeah. In Kisii, we had all of them. And why did we lose it? We lost because of the tribal narratives. And I'm telling this group called Alternative Government or United Opposition, because you people don't learn, go to the 2027 election because that's where Ruto is waiting for you with tribal arithmetics that we have taken Mount Kenya, we have taken Western, we have taken what, we have taken what. And then you don't come with an ideology, with real change. Because I'm in the United Opposition, I'm in the narrative, but there are people in the alternative government, I cannot even wake up, I cannot even have energy to tell Kenyans vote for this, to represent what? Kenyans want, we are going to 2027, William Ruto should go home. Give us an alternative solution, not tribal arithmetics.
Yes. I have a question. Do you think Linda Mwananchi has that nationalistic approach as opposed to zones and tribalism? And, you know, for they're speaking the language of values, that Kenya's leadership needs to change in terms of value system. Do you think it's strong enough to beat?
When I'm talking about Linda Mwananchi, let me talk it from a perspective of individualistic, then as a group. I love the energy of Edwin Sifuna. I love what he stands for. I love Mimi Sifuna. I love Mimi ndio Secretary General of ODM, although nowadays ni kama
Katibu Mkuu.
Ni kama imetolewa. So hiyo atakuwa anasema. But if Linda Mwananchi, and I'm saying that with a lot of respect to that group, and everything, if they're not careful, by September, I'm not even giving many months, September, even Sifuna will be wondering, Sifuna alikuwa nini? Yes.
Why so?
I'm saying that because Linda Mwananchi is not a party. Are we together? It's not a party.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you, today people can follow you. Wait until the day you declare that you have this party. That's when they start leaving you. People start aligning themselves with the party of their regions. Okay. That is a fact. There's so many people today in Mount Kenya will come and tell you, Mimi ni Linda Mwananchi. But a time will come, you'll have to decide when ni DCP ama when nani. Linda Mwananchi has so many maybe members of parliament from Kisii region. They will come and decide, who are you? Are we together? Yeah. That time of reckoning is coming. Yeah. Are we together? Babu is one to vie for governor in Nairobi. Very soon, we'll come and say, who are you? The taste of politicians in Kenya when you are building a party. And that's why somebody was very, I think, cautious when telling Sifuna this, but I will be very honest with him. The guy called Kareba Misi, he told him, you need to have your own home. The guy called Ososi over this weekend in Western Kenya, he told Sifuna, stop fighting to be the Secretary General of ODM. Yes, it's high time now. You build your own vehicle. You have your own home. Huwezi kuwa unafukuzwa nje uko kwa mlango unapiga. There are people who believe in you to give them a home. Maybe the young people and everybody, so that you can maybe a force. But wewe bado unaongaonga mahali ukisema lazima tufungue huku mimi ndio katibu mkuu wa ODM. Yeah, if you believe yourself that much, get out there, start a party, form a party with the young people and start moving. But if he doesn't do that by September, you will host Sifuna here and hata mwenye atakuwa anashangaa Sifuna alikuwa nani. Yes, they should take the advice from the Kareba Misi because they started the Linda Mwananchi with them. Like in Ososi, they started with them. They're not advising him on bad faith. They are doing it because they can see. If you don't start something now, other
Imoto
itenda
itaisha.
The energy needs to go somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to align himself.
So you had said number one, we'll say goodbye to this tribal arithmetic.
If we go to tribal arithmetic, I can tell you, don't even stop. Ibo wanasema sijui nimekuja na 8 million, 2 million, 3 million. Ruto will beat you hands.
That was number one. Yes. Number two, you had started saying we need to have a very honest conversation with ourselves.
Yes, with ourselves. The honest conversation is, if we really want change, let's not be individualistic. I had all the chance since 2021 to join William Samoei Ruto. I was given offers, by the way. You can join us, we can do this, we can do this. But the Bible says...
What do they offer you?
But the Bible says...
What do they offer?
Of course, they offer monetary, monetary aspect.
Kamangapi?
The Bible says, where your heart is, that is where your treasure is.
Kama ngapi?
It's good money. Of course, Ruto akona pesa.
Kama ngapi? Kama ngapi?
That one I'll speak another time. So, by saying that where your treasure, your heart is, that's where your treasure is. I'm telling the youth, if you want to lead this country, don't go for shortcuts. Shortcut, you'll just soil your name very soon for the handouts. You'll be given 100,000, 200,000, say this, and just know somebody somewhere is watching. There's so many people who are watching the nation, fixing the nation. They don't comment, they don't do anything, but they know that lady and that lady and that lady. If ever I get a chance in an international media, I'll pick that lady. But that person will never tell you. Somebody somewhere is watching what you are doing as a young person, and the day of recording will come. Yes.
I quite like that. Kuna some feedback, actually quite a lot on YouTube. Starting with, so Samson Abok says umelipwa na United Opposition. Sisi ni Sifuna, wewe jua hivo. Hizo zingine we shall know by August 2027. Just like Gen Z said, we don't have a party or a leader, but ni Sifuna. That's Samson Abok. Tribalism, Kamik says, tribalism is at play. If it's someone from the mountain, they would say two-term. We know this game, bwana. Okay. Benjamin Mukubi says, if you go to an ATM and draw money, you cannot turn to it and praise it for enabling it to draw the money, yet it's your money. Our leaders are talking of development in such a way, which is very true. Anytime you do something, you come and you pat yourself on the back so heavily, and you're essentially doing your job. No one ever tells the ATM, good job for giving me money.
Wow, commendable work.
Devori is asking, how do we get rid of tribalism? Practical solutions, not generalizations. Okay, that's a very good question, actually. Fixing Kenya should have started immediately from 2008. This is according to Clifton Mulimi, 9897. But when Uhuru was brought by Kibaki so that he could inherit him, we messed with this nation. The transition from Kibaki to Uhuru messed the country up a lot. We could have started actually from 2008. That's according to him. And more comments. Who has captured parliament? The president. Does he have goodwill? There's a lot of questions around that. But let's get back to this question of your practical solutions for dealing with tribalism. Because essentially, we can say let's end tribalism, but how do we do that? Or let's not vote against tribal lines. The how, you know, it's ideal and it's easy to say, but then what's the how?
The how is what you have discussed. Leaders come and sell an ideology. I can tell you Ruto was not voted on tribalism basis. Yes. If Ruto was voted on tribalism basis, he could not be the president today. Ruto sold an ideology that resonated with Kenyans. They bought the idea of hustler and they voted him. Yes. You sell an idea. Let people buy an idea. Don't come and tell people, you know, our region, we have these numbers, we have these numbers. Come and tell people, this is what we can do for the country. This is the idea. This is a change we want. Yes. And the reason I am very positive about this country can change is because of even 2022. Because as much as we see the negative about President William Samoei Ruto coming to power, we must see something that he introduced in this country, that it's possible a leader can come and sell an ideology. And people, the young people, buy the ideology. As in Azimio, we didn't have an ideology. We sold tribal arithmetics. And in the process, we had voter apathies in places that we expected the late Raila Amolo Odinga to get 99%, including Nyanza. We didn't have people who were motivated enough to go and vote for Raila because why were they voting for him? And that is the mistake the united opposition might get themselves into if they go to 2027 election thinking they can defeat a sitting head of state with tribal arithmetic. They are very wrong.
There was also the question on what wanasema tumelipwa na united opposition. What was that? Let me get the exact comment.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I told you, huyu amelipwa na, this is Samson Abok, na united opposition. Sisi ni Sifuna, wewe jua hivyo. Hizo zingine we shall know by August 2027.
That's right, but I want to ask the guy who paid Karebamisi. Ososi is the best friend to Sifuna. Honorable Sosi. But he has told him the same thing. Are you together?
Yeah.
Sifuna is adding energy on our camps. Us, we are the ones who is telling the truth. Stop knocking this ODM thing. Are we together? All these people, they want a home. Create for them a home. Let them know they have a party with structures. This is our party leader. This is our secretary general. Let even these youths who are saying Mimi Sifuna know that in a party, most of the youths, they grow in a party structure. You know, some of the youths, they think in political, you can just go like that on the street, making noise here.
Yes.
You can't grow making noise on the streets and mandamano. You have to be in a political party structure.
True.
Most of the organization like Center for Multi-Party Democracy and so on and so forth, they have you ever seen them on the street? Saying mumeona kijana amesema nduru hapa Ruto must go. We have a seminar. Maybe in South Africa we want them to go. No, they go through the party structures. Like in this party, do you have some young people who can represent the youth manifesto in South Africa or something like that? Okay.
Yes.
If you want to grow even that guy through the political cadres in this country, you can only grow the party structure.
Party structures.
Yes, we're just real.
That's where you can get your voices heard. And I like that piece of advice. And this has been such an insightful conversation, Chege Majuice.
Thank you.
Because again, we have to close the show. Thank you so much. And also to our fixers who are online contributing to this conversation. But yesterday we had a bit of drama. From across the border, and this is courtesy of a piece and a feature that we ran about 11 days ago. NTV Uganda, our sister station, ran a feature asking a very pointed question: is General Muhoozi Kanera Gaba above the law? And that's Museveni's son. And well, he appears to have answered that question because he went ahead and ordered the indefinite shutdown of Nation Media Group's entire Uganda operation. That's NTV Uganda, Spark TV, The Daily Monitor, KFM, Dembe FM. And it's, you know, just a story that we are continuing to keep tabs on.
Right.
And I know in our coverage we had said the managing director.
Yeah, there was a slight spelling error on the managing director's name for NTV Uganda, and her name is Susan Nsibirwa, not Nasibirwa. Just a correction from earlier on, Susan Nsibirwa, not Nasibirwa. But of course, this is an incredibly worrying situation. And the fact that General Muhoozi himself says, in Uganda, I do not believe in a free press. The press should be guided by the cadres of the revolution is incredibly problematic. And the shutdown followed an order by General Muhoozi. And it was an operation that began shortly after midnight with security personnel sealing off NMG premises and preventing staff from entering or leaving. And just a quote there from General Muhoozi on his X, he said, NTV and Monitor are being shut down from today. He posted that at 1:07 a.m. Both NTV and the Monitor will not be reopened without my permission. Earlier on, he wrote, in Uganda, I do not believe in a free press. The press should be guided by the cadres of the revolution. This is, of course, an obvious affront to press freedom, but also one that is incredibly blatant. And I'm not familiar with Ugandan law. I just do wonder what a general has to do with matters, communications and press and
press freedom.
You know, how a general in the army is dealing with matters of the press, and if there's any legal grounds for this,
for him to do this. Just reading in part here, he said, I have the power in Uganda to shut down any and that's in Caps Media House. I have this power I've had this power since 2017. This power was given to me by my great father, President Kaguta Museveni. And that's something he wrote on X on Saturday. So just to answer your question, Mariam, the power was given to him by his father.
Okay.
And not what the law says.
The East African Editor Society has condemned the shutdown of course, the TV and radio stations, and they said, quote, "This is unprecedented use of military force against independent media, and it's a grave assault on press freedom, editorial independence, and the public's right to information. It is particularly alarming that the shutdown was accompanied by public statements rejecting press freedom and asserting that the media should operate only with military approval." The Kenya Union of Journalists as well has expressed solidarity with Ugandan journalists and urged the government to follow due process if it believed any laws had been broken. Now, EAJF President Eric Odwor said, "We call upon the government to follow the law if they believe that there were violations that occasioned the draconian actions of storming media houses to shut them down." Former AG Justin Muturi has also condemned what he has described as growing hostility towards the media in the region, saying journalists' safety and independence are constitutional guarantees that must be protected. We'll keep you updated on this story, and of course, as it develops, and we'll continue letting you know what's happening across our news bulletins in the next few hours. But for now, we have to end the conversation there. A big thank you to Chege Majuice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for spending the morning with us. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And of course, for fixing the nation.
Thank you.
Haya, tutapatana kesho 6 to 10 a.m. Kesho ni Tuesday. We're very ready for Tuesday. But a massive thank you from myself, Mariam Bishar, Felaris Wamboy, and Eric Latif in absentia. Have an amazing Monday. Atakuwa kesho. Relax, atakuwa kesho. Sawa. Hi. We'll be back tomorrow.